What's going on, guys? My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC, and today we have a mini brute of a review for you of the Wee Knives Thug. Alright guys, so just to get this out of the way, this is the Wee Knives Thug. This is coming in at approximately $250 the last time I looked on Blade HQ. I would love to give you a White Mountain Knives promo code, EEDC, to go purchase this at White Mountain Knives for 10% off, but they are all currently sold out. I did see that Blade HQ had a few more though, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think last time I looked. And this is as of Wednesday morning of September 8th. Okay. So this is the Wee Knives Thug. This is a Matt Christensen design, and it's done so well. It's so very cool. It has this hand satin finish going around the titanium, which just looks absolutely gorgeous. They're doing something lately where they put two screws, and this is even incorporating one of the pocket clip screws to cover one. It's not a pocket clip. Yeah, right there, pocket clip screws. That covers just one side. So like, not only does it make the show side look better, let me clean this off real quick because I feel like I didn't clean this blade off. Not only does it make the show side look better, but it makes disassembly like that much easier. Not only are they using T8s all around, they're freaking, it's just easy to disassemble. This is like one of those like perfectly designed knives that you want to take apart and work on, right? First and foremost, that's where this stands. So that's very cool. We have the cool Wee Knives logo with a little pivot collar going around here. A backspacer with what they're doing lately too. What is it? The lanyard post again? What? Just mentioned it on the Civivi bow. It is like one of the coolest ways to hide a lanyard, and that even looks cool. Look at it. It's like a little dog bone shape. That looks pretty sweet. And I don't mind that at all. I think it's cool. It adds character to the back of the knife, even if I'm not going to use it. Aesthetically, I like that. So kudos to that, guys. We have a pocket clip that isn't recessed, but it is pretty deep carry right here, as you can see. And it's not a deep carry. It's not a fold over, but it's relatively deep. You got that much sticking out. We'll talk about this pocket clip later. A titanium frame lock. We got some nice cuts on gun here. Over travel stop right there. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the blade. So this is an interesting design. This is a compound grind with the hollow grind on the non-existent belly, and then this upswept tanto, which is a flat grind. Then you have this cool swedge coming on down. So there's so many like geometric lines going on here that just look so cool. And did I mention I got the hand rub satin version? Absolutely gorgeous. This thing is really cool. You got Matt Christensen's design right there, or design logo, and then you have CPM 20CV right here. Let's jump into some specs. Let's jump into some size comparisons. I'm going to give you a lot on this one. I don't know why. I was just inspired to give a lot. I wanted to show you guys a bunch of different designs. And then I'm going to hold it up next to a knife in one of them that I think I'm going to do a quick comparison on after this video. And you guys know my comparisons. They're free form, and I just kind of go with the flow and just go with objectively what I'm feeling in the moment. So that's kind of an oxymoron statement, ain't it? All right. I didn't mention the action is really good. Little thick blade. It's a little clunky in there right now. I could clean up that action, and it was damn near fall shut. And in order to like get a weight from your scale, just so you guys know, I'll be doing a how-to tutorial on how to turn on a digital scale before you use, because apparently it does not give you the weight before you turn it on. This little beast is coming in at 4.4 ounces, so it's no slouch to weight. It is definitely not lightweight. It is definitely kind of like this mini pocket brick, right? Even in hand. If you guys have ever felt the Civivi Daurus, which I still wish I had mine, I wish they would make a titanium version of the Daurus, and I would buy that all day. I just absolutely love the Civivi Daurus. You guys already know that about me, though. But this is so reminiscent of the Daurus. It's really cool. All right. Stop gushing. Here, let's do this. I don't normally do it on this side. I don't normally do this, but when I do. All right, so this is coming in at about 6.5 inches. 6.5 inches of knife, including handle, and a 4.4 ounce weight. This, somebody said screw it, which I kind of love that. If you're going to say screw it, just freaking go for it, right? And I love that idea of it. All right, so this is coming in at about a 2 3/4 inch blade length. Yeah, plus or minus, but the actual cutting edge is about 2.5. And while I'm here, because I'll forget to talk about this, they did the plunge grind really well. Plunge grind stops like right here, but you can see there's a little bit more bite after my nail. So they did it really, really well. I'll show you guys a knife they didn't do well that I thought about yesterday, and I'm only going to talk about it because I don't want to forget to talk about it. All right, so the overall blade stock thickness is coming in at 155 thousandths. So again, no slouch to thickness. The overall behind the edge of the hollow grind on the non-existent belly or the flat part of the tanto is coming in at 15 thousandths. The tanto is coming in right around the same, so it's a little odd that it's doing that in particular. But yeah. All right, sorry about that intermission. My child woke up as soon as I started the video, despite sleeping for the past 30 minutes. So that was cool. All right, so the overall thickness, I'm gonna measure it to the center because this is contoured. It's coming in at 520 thousandths, or just over half of an inch on the inner part. So it is contoured pretty well if you look. I'm gonna start taking those measurements for contour references, mainly for myself because I don't really know. But the outer part is coming in at 400 thousandths. The inner part is coming in at 520 thousandths, or 0.12 inches thicker. All right, let's get your overall height real quick, just because we're here measuring. So the overall height of this blade is coming in at 1.3 inches. So it's not gonna be, you know, Savivi bow style. It's not gonna be Benchmade bug out style. Speaking of the Benchmade bug out, pocket check. All right. Here's your Benchmade bug out comparison. Wow! Isn't that bug out gorgeous? That bug out's kind of like taking the place of all my small knives now. And I hate saying that because back in the day I wasn't like the biggest bug out fan, but I was like, whatever. All right, so here's the QSP Penguin as well. I figured you guys do well to see some of these more relevant size comparisons. As you can see, both the Penguin and the bug out are pretty much the same size. Tempted to compare those two, by the way. And they're both much more narrow in profile. So when I pick this up, it's much more narrow in hand. You can see where my knuckles wrap around right there. But then you see this, and I'm latched on right there. And they're not wrapping around yet. It's interesting how thick this is. It lends to pretty decent ergonomics. I wouldn't say these are hard use ergonomics, but this does feel locked in right here. So I feel locked in, but I'm not going to use this for hard use. I'm going to be honest. That doesn't feel like a hard use position point. Now, you can, and I did. I cut down some cardboard and stuff, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel the best, but it didn't feel the worst either. This is more of just a really cool knife in your pocket, in my opinion. Not that it's not functional, but anything that's going to be a 2-inch blade with a shorter handle isn't going to be the most functional, or hard use, rather, with the exception of a few. So here is your wee Roxy, which I can barely get on screen because we're zoomed in, and it's leaning over. It's just about the same size as your wee Roxy and a little bit smaller than your wee Esprit. So I'm going to be showing you a bunch of these. I actually reached out to Matt Christensen because I was doing a little bit of research. He does these knives that are like wicked looking. If you go look up Matt Christensen on Google, put Matt Christensen knives, because there's a Matt Christensen, somebody else that's apparently more famous in their own right. He makes some bruiserish knives. Here's the Savivi Perf and your Savivi Praxis. As you can see, still shorter in length than both, but comparatively, it's just as tall as your Praxis, almost. Not really, the Praxis blade comes out a little bit more. But thickness-wise, look at that. Oh, hold on, let's get flat. And that's thicker at its like most thin point. So that's pretty interesting. Interestingly enough, though, with Matt Christensen, he actually lives like, his shop is like 30 minutes away from my place. So kind of a secret squirrel moment, but I'm kind of trying to prod him a little bit to see if maybe I can go to his shop and check out his stuff, do a quick video on it. That would be cool, right? I haven't talked to him yet or anything, so it's just very, very preliminary. All right. So here you got your Rat Model 1, your Rat Model 2. Obviously, much smaller in length than both. In girth, it is much larger. And then last but not least, I think we have your Feldspar sandwich. Yes, I've shown a lot of these. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. I enjoy watching the knives just look like this. I enjoy seeing them next to each other. You kind of get to see all these different knives and comparatively where they stand. So if you guys don't like when I kind of go off kilter and just start showing a bunch of knives, let me know. I know it takes up a little bit more time, but... Alright. So, this does have a slight recurve in the blade here. One thing I'm kind of confused about is why we do a a compound grind, which is done beautifully well, with the same thickness behind the edge. I wish you would have taken... And they're both stupid slicey. Don't get me wrong. 15,000s and 15,000s. I kind of just wish... In my brain, it processes a compound grind as one that will carry more strength out to the tip. All this kind of does for me is it basically says, hey, you can sharpen me longer and I will stay the same thickness behind the edge than if you were to use this part more often, right? That's all that's telling me. So I don't know. I don't know about that. It's not a complaint. It's just a confusion moment. And yes, I just failed it there, but that was a really bad flick. All right. So as we talked about, in your pocket is going to be a little pocket tank. It does carry pretty well, but my other complaint here is this pocket clip. I don't, guys, and don't quote me on this because I don't know if I caught this on something or if this is the way it was and I noticed it like a week into carrying it. But this tip on the pocket clip is like, let's see here, super mega ultra pointy. Yes, I said super mega ultra. That's where this stands, right? Look at that. And so when I carry it in my fifth pocket, right? Because I like to carry a larger knife and a medium-sized knife. So this is definitely not really one that would go in your fifth pocket, but I do it anyways. Okay, so that's me. That may not be you. But what I'm saying is in my fifth pocket, every time I put my hand past that knife, this scraped on my hand. Very frustrating. It's probably not meant to be a fifth pocket knife. It's meant to be your primary carry, so you may not have as much of an issue with that. But if it's hanging out of your pocket, you're still going to poke shit. And the other point to that is you might catch that on something with how pointy and upright it is. Like I said, I can't see a bend in there where I caught it. I honestly, guys, I don't know. I haven't felt another one, so let me know if you got a We Knives Thug. And if you're experiencing the same thing, maybe it's just me. Maybe I caught it on something and just barely flipped up that tip. But it all looks like a smooth bend to me. So I'm not 100% on that one. Other than that, this thing is pretty awesome. As I said, ergonomically, it does its job for the 2.5-inch blade that it does have. Action-wise, I wish I would have cleaned up the action. And actually, hold on, give me 2 seconds. Okay, and we're back. All right, so I blew it out. I put a little bit of thick pivot, or I put a little bit of thick oil or lube on the detent ball, and then I put some light oil, kind of riding down the tracks, hoping it would grease those bearings up a little bit or lubricate those bearings. And it's not gummy. It's actually super smooth. It's just not fall shut, right? So I bet you hands down, if I were to take this apart and take out those bearings and clean them up and whatever, it would be pretty much fall shut. So the action is very fun to fidget with. These thumb studs are done very, very perfectly. This has a stop pin back here, as you can see. And I would show you the insides of these, but there's nothing to show. It's just solid titanium, which is part of why this is 4.5 ounces, right? Really nice backspacer that's done really, really well. I see no fit and finish issues. And overall, this is just a really, really cool knife. And actually, it came out of nowhere, right? The We Knives Thug dropped, and we're like, holy shit, that's cool. If you go look at Matt Christensen's designs, They're all like this. The only other production knife that I could find with his name on it is the Kaiser Critical and the Critical Mini. Pretty aggressive looking Warncliffs, right? And then you go look at his. He's got this one that's called like the Bros or something like that. And holy shit, maybe I'm getting the name totally wrong. But this thing's just a freaking tank. It's like a Praxis met a Praetorian. And they're like, because it has like a Praxis-ish blade, because it's got that round. I guess it would be like a Praetorian-ish blade. I don't know why I'm saying Praxis. But it's just this just beast of a knife. And that's kind of his style, right? It's like in your face, ugh. And it's just really cool. Excuse me. I think my favorite part about this is how they made the construction so simple that I can literally take out 2 screws. I don't think I have to take out this second pocket clip screw. I think I can just take out these 2, and I have taken it apart before, but I don't remember specifically. These 2, and then this one right here, and you have 3 screws, and this whole thing comes apart. In my opinion, I have no idea why we don't do that more often. Yes, if you strip those screws on the bottom, you're kind of screwed, as opposed to if it strips in the barrel space or whatever. I don't care. This looks so much better. If I strip this, I'm going to be pissed off at myself and then call my machinist buddy Ryan and say, hey, can you fix this? And maybe send it out to him, right? Like, that's... If I strip a screw in a body, that's what would happen. Do this construction more. This is so much more simple. It's so much more maintenance friendly, and I really appreciate it. And they actually also did it on, where's that? If you check here, the Wii Esprit. Interestingly enough, they chose to put the screw heads on this side as opposed to this side, while this screw heads are on the opposite side. I don't know if that was to do the black accent standoff there. I'm not sure. But either way, I like them both. They're very easy to disassemble. That's all I can say. It's probably my favorite part about the knife, other than the fact that this is a chubby little tank. And that I'm so drawn to these knives. Like I said, the Civivi Dauris just kind of brought me in on that. And every chubby little tank that comes across my table, I'm like, ah, I love this little chode. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you one more size comparison. And this is another interesting design. This is the EMP Knives Nimble. Now, pretty cool in the idea that I want to compare these, not because they're similar. I mean, the sizes are kind of similar, but they're kind of chubby little pocket tanks. They both have a pretty damn good fidget factor, although the EMP Nimble is awesome. And they're both made by kind of up-and-coming designers. Now, they're not up and coming. They've been around for a while. Here I am freaking humbly saying they're up and coming, right? No, but I mean, like, they've just started introducing some production models, right? The Kaiser, or the Kaiser Critical, the Wee Knives Thug. I couldn't find any more, but he has like 4 or 5 different designs. He's been around since about 2016. Then you have EMP designs, right? They just came out with the Nimble. They're coming out with the Thick Boy, and then they came out with the Slender Man a little bit longer ago. So he's only been around for 2-3 years. I'm sure he's been around longer, you know, kind of learning the trade and whatnot. But from what we know, or what I know, that's how long they've been around. So I am going to be doing a comparison video on these two, just because I think it would be fun. And it's not really to declare a winner of each. Like, there's no, hey, you win this because you win this. My comparison videos are not to say one is better than the other necessarily. It's to say, if I'm looking at these objective categories, mostly objective, plus my subjective input, this is the one that I think wins that type of competition. And it doesn't really set one apart from the other, because I always choose ones that should be compared in the first place, so they're already of the same caliber. Anyways, diverted. This is the Wee Knives Thug, guys. I'm going to give you guys a quick last-minute rundown. Let's see here. Really, really nice hand satin finish. And one thing I learned recently about the hand satin finishes is that they go horizontal, not vertical on the blade. So that's the main difference. But you also get this darkened color with it that I think actually comes from, they do like the grinding and then you do the hand satin, and so it creates this offstand. I mean, I don't know actually. Somebody educate me. Why does a hand satin finish always look like this dark color? Is it because you have crisscross lines reflecting light in a different way? Or is it like an actual finish before they do the hand satin or after they do the hand satin? Oop. That could have been bad. let's show you guys real quick how deep this might sit in your pocket. This is not representative of a pocket. This is just representative of how deep this would sit. So you guys can see this. I like doing this because I like seeing it when people do it. I just wish I would have done it. All right, so this is a lint-free cloth. That's what you would see sticking out of your pocket. All right. This is how far down it would go. Like that. If this is your pocket lip, goes down that far. Now, in and out, it's pretty easily accessed. Look. Little to no effort, but also remember that bill is going to drive me nuts. And like I said, I don't know if that's me or if that's the knife. I'm not 100%. But, alright guys, so this is the We Knives Thug. Pretty freaking cool. Thank you so much to Matt Christensen for designing this, because this is awesome and it was a breath of fresh air right at the right time. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking rest of your day. By the way, if you haven't checked out my Patreon, www.patreon.com/EEDC, go to White Mountain Knives, shop for any of the knives that they got. And if you want to do some shopping, promote my channel, EEDC, over there using the promo code EEDC. That's all you got to do. And eventually, I'm going to get into, Justin was talking about potentially lending out some loaners, giving some better discounts on knives, because I purchase from them first and foremost every single time. Fantastic customer service. Fantastic response times, 0 tax, 0 delivery. It's just awesome, okay? And you get that 10% code that takes off. If it's a $270 knife, you get $27 off. That's pretty cool. You guys have a great day.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means a lot. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, give me some feedback in the comments below and hit the thumbs down button. In case you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon, which will be listed right here. In that Patreon, we're giving bi-monthly giveaways to just the Patreons based on the number of Patreons that we have in the Patreon. We will also be giving discounts on all the knives that I sell based on the number of Patrons. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great day.